Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Jay, according to Michael Benson, Teofimo Lopez is set to face Jermaine Ortiz in March. And this is an interesting fight. Jermaine Ortiz wanted the opportunity to face Shakur Stevenson, never got that opportunity, and now he's getting a big fight after coming up a little bit short versus Lomachenko. Now, Jay, if I remember correctly, I think you believe that Jermaine Ortiz actually beat Lomachenko. And so this is going to be a good fight for Teofimo Lopez in the sense that, you know, it's not a guy that's going to be coming up in weight. We understand that. But, you know, Teofimo Lopez just came off of a fight with Josh Taylor. At the time, I think we all felt Josh Taylor was the number one name at 140 pounds. Since then, we've learned that not only is he not the number one fighter at 140 pounds, neither was Regis Prograis, the guy that you love. So he's going to he's getting the opportunity to, to basically take what I would call somewhat of a showcase fight. Now, Jermaine Ortiz is not an easy opponent. We understand that. But, you know, Teofimo, the position that he's in, bigger, stronger, harder puncher, and I think personally a better boxer. This is going to be an uphill battle, an uphill climb for somebody like Jermaine Ortiz. So I take it more so as a showcase fight and a bridge fight for Teofimo Lopez to bridge him into another big fight, whether that's the winner of Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, or I don't know, maybe even Rolly Romero might get an opportunity to face somebody like Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds, just to make a big time fight for Subriel Matias is also an opportunity for Teo. We heard that Teo was actually planning to fight him now in June. Wanted to fight him earlier in the year, but because of the injury to Matias, maybe they're looking to make that fight in June now. And so maybe this is going to be a bridge fight for Teofimo Lopez into one of those big major fights. So, Jay, what's your thoughts on this Jermaine Ortiz versus Teofimo Lopez? Are you excited about this fight?
I mean, I like it. I'll take it. You know, I know Jermaine has only fought one other fight at a 12-round fight. That was against Loma. That was his first 12-round fight. You know, and I thought he won that fight, but he gassed out. Teo's definitely going to be the heavy favorite. You know, he's earned the fight to be the favorite. But I think it's a good fight. Teo can't sleep on Jermaine because Jermaine can box. You know, he was Loma's sparring partner for years. And he looked good against Loma, although he did gas out fighting his first 12-round fight. But this is a good in-between fight for Teo. I'm not going to necessarily completely count out Jermaine Ortiz because he is a competent boxer. And I think that's what you need to really get Teo a hard fight, a tough fight. You know, you got to be rugged, which Jermaine isn't necessarily rugged. That's how Kambosos got on Teo. Really just making it, muddying up the waters in that fight.
Sandor Martin wasn't. Hold up, Sandor Martin wasn't rugged. Gave him a hell of a fight.
He's a hell of a boxer too, though. Jermaine Ortiz ain't on that level, in my opinion, of a Sandor Martin as far as boxing. Plus, he's coming up in weight, and the way Teo fought against Josh Taylor, that Teo would have stopped Sandor Martin quickly. That Teo would have handled Sandor Martin. So I think it really depends on what Teo shows up. If the Teo shows up that fought Josh Taylor, I think he takes care of Jermaine Ortiz. And I set up a good fight with him and Subriel Matias in June, which is Puerto Rican. I want to say it's Puerto Rican Day. Parade they do in New York, if I'm not mistaken. Something of that nature, because I know that's what they're really trying to bank it on. And with Teo being from New York and Subriel being Puerto Rican, that can be a big money maker there, especially if Teo looks really good like he did against Josh Taylor. So I'm cool with that fight. You know, it's a risky fight, but a not high risk fight as far as Jermaine Ortiz being a knockout artist with a lot of power that Teo has to truly look out for. I mean, any punch can knock you out, but not with Jermaine Ortiz style of fighting. But I'm excited for that fight. At least it's a placeholder right now for me. I know they talked about him fighting Ryan Garcia beforehand and everything. That didn't come into fruition because now, we know Ryan is going to be fighting Devin supposedly, because they're in deep negotiations on that. But this is a good fight.
Yeah. And for those of you who are watching this video, please forgive Jason's sound. I don't know what's exactly going on with his sound, but he has a little bit of a staticky pop there. But I want to say,
so my apologies.
Yeah, definitely your apologies. And you're not technically sound enough to actually solve your technical issues. But anyway,
Oh hell, that came through
so
loud and clear.
so so yeah, I heard that loud and clear. It was staticky still, but loud. Um, so the Puerto Rican Day Parade is on June 11th. So I think you're right about that, and that would be a great opportunity for Teofimo Lopez to have a big fight with Matias Sabrias. Not to say that Sabria Matias, sorry, is a big name opponent, but the fact that they would be unifying would be a big deal, and I think that would be important for Teofimo Lopez. I like the fight. For me, man, I'm just a boxing fan. So even the fights that I complain about, more than likely I'll watch. Even like with the Shakur Stevenson versus Navarrete fight, we were somewhat critical of that fight, considering Navarrete is moving up. But for me, I would watch the fight. And the reason why I bring up that fight specifically, Jay, is because I know how people are. They'll be in the comment section. They'll say, "But you guys didn't like Navarrete, and Navarrete is moving up." The difference is that Teofimo Lopez, I just want to highlight this. Teofimo Lopez just took on the biggest name at 140 pounds and won decisively. So he deserves an interim fight before he takes on another tough opponent. That is the difference between he and Shakur Stevenson, in case anybody comes into the comment section believing that they got some kind of very logical way to call us out. It's not the case. You about to say something?
Yeah, no, I mean, also the fact that Navarrete is almost kind of like, I would say he's almost tailor-made for Shakur. It's his style of fighting. Although it's unorthodox, he's a pressure fighter, but he comes forward and takes shots, to get picked apart. So that's more tailor-made than Jermaine Ortiz versus Teofimo Lopez. Although I favor Teo, I don't think he's tailor-made for him because he can box.
Fair enough. So we'll see what ends up happening or in March for Teofimo Lopez. Hopefully this fight does materialize and we see him matriculate or transition into a fight against Sabria Matias. February, okay. So February, and they'll get the opportunity to then transition into a fight with Sabria Matias as well. That would be a big deal. One last thing I want to say. So this episode of the Angry Man Podcast is brought to you by Born to Box. Born to Box is a gritty documentary about boxing from the perspective of fighters, trainers, and boxing insiders. It's brought to you by the good brother Curtis Scoons. If you may be familiar with him, he did he did one of the episodes in American Gangster, Kenneth Supreme McGriff. He is doing wonderful work out here in terms of telling our stories. So make sure you go check it out, www.borntoboxfilm.com. Guys, don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and we are out.
Peace.